Her hand reached for the coin before her pride could stop it. Hunger moved faster than thought, faster than shame, faster than memory. Her fingers trembled inches above the frozen ground. "Don't," a man said quietly. The words stopped her like a wall she hadn't seen coming. She froze, breath caught halfway, knuckles aching in the cold. Slowly, she lifted her eyes to him. He stood close, close enough that his coat blocked the wind. Tall, solid, still. His gaze held no heat, no mockery, only certainty. The coin spun once more, then fell still between them. Snow made the frontier town look clean, but it did nothing to soften the way people watched a hungry woman. Mei Lin stood beneath a sagging awning where the wind couldn't decide whether to leave her alone or strip her raw. She pressed her hands together as if stubbornness alone could make warmth. She was 25, a Chinese widow. Her light pink silk dress had once meant celebration. Now it clung to her like a memory that refused to fade. The fabric was thin. Every gust slipped through the seams and turned her bones brittle. Church bells rang somewhere behind the buildings. Bright, cheerful, cruel. Families hurried past with parcels and ribbon. Men in thick coats laughed like joy was endless. Mei Lin kept her face calm. Desperation was a luxury she could not afford. "Merry Christmas," a woman said without looking at her. The words landed like crumbs. Mei Lin swallowed and counted the coins in her pocket again. 1 copper for bread that wouldn't last. 2 for a room still colder than the street. Nothing for coal. Nothing for medicine. Nothing left for mistakes. She kept her eyes down. Faces made judgment sharper. The coin at her feet gleamed against the snow. Someone had tossed it, not given it. Her fingers twitched. The man beside her bent first, picked it up, placed it in her palm like it mattered. "That was meant to make you beg," he said. "You don't have to." Her eyes burned. She hated that tears could freeze and betray her. "I don't want charity," she whispered. He nodded once, respectful. "Then don't take charity, take work." His name came after, like something he almost forgot but didn't. "Jonah Reed," he said. "I've got a ranch a day's ride out. Need help with the house." She studied him the way she studied ledgers and exits, carefully, measuring danger. "Why me?" she asked. "Because trouble doesn't stand in the cold that long," Jonah said. "Only someone trying to survive does." The offer rearranged her world so fast her mind resisted it. Still, she followed him to the feed store. He paid for flour, beans, salt, coal. He bought a thick wool shawl and handed it to her. "Wear it," he said. "It's a tool." The warmth hit so fast her knees weakened. She wrapped it tight, breath shaking. "You eaten today?" he asked. She shook her head. Jonah ordered stew, hot. When it came, her body forgot manners and drank the heat like a dying fire. He ate little, watched the door, guarded even on Christmas. "There'll be rules," he said after a moment. "You get your own room, you get paid. I won't touch you. You don't owe me anything beyond the work." Relief hit so hard it hurt. "Why say that?" she asked. "Because fear makes people desperate," he replied. "And I don't want you afraid of me." They left town before the next storm, a small wagon, one steady horse. The prairie stretched pale and wide, wind chasing them like judgment they refused to carry anymore. "How far?" she asked. 8 miles, Jonah said. "Maybe 9. She counted them anyway. When the ranch appeared, it rose from the snow like something stubborn. Small house, low roof, smoke curling thin but steady. Jonah helped her down. Their hands touched. Brief, careful, enough to make her breath catch. Inside, heat rolled over her. Wood smoke, clean air, safety she didn't trust yet. "You'll sleep in the back room," Jonah said. "There's a lock. Use it." She nodded. Gratitude felt fragile. "Thank you." That night, they ate in quiet. No decorations, no pretending. The storm pressed the windows like a test. Jonah kept his distance, kept his word. Later, he stopped in the hall, hands visible. "I'll be in the front room." "I'll lock the door," she said. "Not because of you, because of habit." "That's fair," he said. "Habits keep you alive." Quote, in her room, the bed was clean, the blanket thick. She folded her pink dress with care, as if it still mattered. Sleep came slowly. Morning arrived gray and silent. Snow erased yesterday's tracks. She woke warm. That felt like a miracle. Work filled the day. Sweeping, mending, cooking. Jonah shoveled, fed animals, fixed fences. They moved around each other with care, like two people learning a shared language. "Widowhood doesn't make you guilty," Jonah said when she told him. "In some places it does," she replied. "Not here." That night, the storm returned, stronger, roads gone, snowed in. "It's all right," she said. "I don't feel trapped." They shared the long hours, coffee, fire, silence that didn't wound. When fear woke her, Jonah was there, watching, awake. She rested against his shoulder, chose it. He let her. "You're safe here," he whispered. She wanted to believe him. And for the first time in months, she almost did. Morning broke, slow and pale, like the world was unsure it wanted to begin again. Maylene woke before the fire did. The cold pressed close, but it did not bite the way it used to. She lay still, listening. The house creaked softly. Wind moved along the eaves. Somewhere beyond the walls, an animal shifted in the barn. She sat up and wrapped the blanket tighter around her shoulders. The lock on the door was still slid into place. That steadiness eased something in her chest. When she stepped into the hall, Jonah was already awake. He stood at the stove, sleeves rolled, coaxing flame from stubborn wood. He glanced back once, quick and careful, as if checking that she was real. "Morning," he said. "Morning," she replied. No rush followed, no orders, just space. She moved to the table and set out cups. When he poured coffee, their hands did not touch. Still, the nearness mattered. They ate bread in companionable quiet. Outside, the storm had softened, leaving the world muffled and white. Jonah pulled on his coat. "Drifts will take most of the day," he said. "You don't need to come out." "I can help inside," she answered. He nodded. Approval without spectacle. She swept until the floorboards showed their true color, mended a tear in a blanket, warmed beans and added salt the careful way she'd learned long ago. Work steadied her, gave her a place. When Jonah came in with snow clinging to his shoulders, she handed him coffee without asking. He paused, surprised, then accepted it. "Thank you," he said. The words landed heavier than expected. That afternoon, he showed her the ledger. Numbers. Simple columns. Honest work. Her fingers moved with confidence. "You're quick," he observed. "Numbers don't lie," she said. "People do." A corner of his mouth lifted. Not quite a smile, but close. By evening, the wind returned. Harder, louder. It rattled the windows and tested the walls like it was looking for weakness. Jonah checked the shutters twice. "Road's gone again," he said. "We're here tonight." She nodded. Fear flickered, then settled. "That's all right." They ate by lamplight. No rush, no celebration, just warmth. Later, when the fire burned low, Jonah sat across from her at the table. His hands rested flat, visible, controlled. "There's something you should know," he said. She stilled, listened. "I don't offer this kind of arrangement lightly," he continued. "I don't plan to change the rules." "I understand," she said. He met her eyes. "If at any point you feel different, you say so." She swallowed. "I will." The storm worsened after midnight. Wind screamed through the valley. Snow struck the walls in waves. Sleep came and went in fragments. When panic woke her, sharp and sudden, she did not scream. She sat up, breath shallow, listening to her heart race like it had nowhere to go. From the front room came the steady crackle of fire. Jonah was awake, watching. She opened her door. He looked up immediately. Concern crossed his face, then stopped, held back. "Everything all right?" he asked. She nodded, though it wasn't entirely true. "The storm." "It won't get in," he said. "You're safe." She hesitated, then crossed the room, sat on the bench by the stove. Close enough to feel warmth, far enough to keep choice intact. They did not speak for a while. The storm filled the silence. "I haven't slept through a night since my husband died," she said finally. Jonah's jaw tightened. "I'm sorry." "It's not your fault," she replied. "I just wanted you to know." He nodded, accepted the truth without trying to fix it. Minutes passed, then more. The bench grew cold. She shifted, inch by inch, until her shoulder brushed his. He went still. "If this is too much," he said quietly, "we stop." "It's not," she answered. She leaned her head against his shoulder. Chose it. He did not move away. His arm lifted slowly, giving her time to change her mind, then rested around her shoulders. Not pulling, just there. The contact steadied her breathing. His heart beat slow and strong beneath her cheek. She closed her eyes. Morning came gentle and white. The storm spent itself in the night. She woke with sunlight touching the floor. Jonah's arm was still around her. Neither of them moved right away. "Good morning," she said. "Morning," he replied, voice rough with sleep. They separated carefully. No apology, no regret. Breakfast came together easy. Too easy. Hands brushed. "Stayed a second longer." Jonah stepped back first. "There's more you should see," he said. "The barn, the road, the way out." She looked at him, really looked. "You always offer an exit," she said. "Safety needs one," he replied. They stood close in the kitchen. The space between them felt full now. Charged. "I don't want to pretend this is only work," she said softly. He held her gaze, did not rush. "I won't take what you don't choose." She reached for his coat. Felt the solid truth beneath. "I am choosing," she said. Their kiss was slow, careful, a question asked twice before it became an answer. When they parted, foreheads resting together, the world felt quieter. "We'll go slow," Jonah said. "Our pace," she corrected. He nodded. Outside, the snow glittered untouched. Inside, something fragile had taken its first careful step, and neither of them knew what it would demand next. The days after the storm settled into a rhythm neither of them named. Morning came with pale light and quiet purpose. Jonah rose early, always careful not to wake her. Mei Lin learned the sound of his steps on the floorboards. Slow, even. A man who did not rush peace once he found it. She joined him at the stove each morning. Coffee first, then bread. Sometimes beans, sometimes silence that felt earned. Work filled the hours. Honest work. The kind that left her tired but upright. She scrubbed floors. Cooked meals that stretched what little they had. Mended clothes with small, steady stitches. Jonah worked outside, fixing fences and clearing paths the snow tried to reclaim. They spoke little during the day, not because there was nothing to say, but because neither wanted to bruise what was growing. In the evenings, they shared the table. Their knees sometimes touched. Neither pulled away. One night, as the fire crackled low, Jonah cleared his throat. "There's something I haven't asked," he said. Mei Lin looked up. "You can ask." He hesitated. The pause mattered. "Do you plan to stay?" Quote. The question landed soft but heavy. "I don't know yet," she answered honestly. "I've never been allowed to decide slowly." Jonah nodded. "That's fair." Quote. She studied his face, the lines of restraint, the quiet weight he carried. "Do you want me to stay?" she asked. He met her gaze, unguarded for once. "I want you safe," he said, "whatever that means." The answer warmed and unsettled her all at once. Days passed, snow melted, then returned in thin sheets. The prairie stretched wide and indifferent. Life pressed on. One afternoon, Jonah came in late. His coat was torn at the sleeve. Blood darkened the wool. Mei Lin stood so fast her chair tipped back. What happened? Fence post slipped, he said. Just a scrape. She did not argue. She took his coat, guided him to the chair, cleaned the wound with steady hands. Her touch was careful, intentional. He watched her work, jaw tight. You don't have to do that, he said. I want to, she replied. The truth of it settled between them. That night, when the fire burned low, Jonah spoke again. I lost my wife 3 winters ago, he said. Mei Lin did not interrupt. She took sick fast. Too fast, he continued. I kept thinking work would fix it. Keep the ranch running, keep us fed. Quote. His voice roughened. It didn't. Mei Lin reached for his hand, did not squeeze, just held. I'm sorry, she said. So am I, he replied. Every day. Silence followed, not empty, full. From then on, something shifted, not rushed, not claimed, but acknowledged. He brushed past her more often. Paused longer when their hands met. She leaned into his presence without fear. One morning, Jonah saddled the horse. I need to go into town, he said. Supplies. Mei Lin's chest tightened. I'll come, she said. He hesitated. You don't have to. I want to, she replied. But if it's not safe. It's safer together, he said. The town had not changed. Snow still made it look clean. People still watched. Mei Lin walked beside Jonah. His presence was quiet but firm. He did not block stairs. He did not confront them. He simply existed beside her. At the store, a man muttered something under his breath. Jonah stopped. Say it again, he said calmly. The man looked away. Mei Lin's hands shook. Jonah noticed. He shifted closer, not touching. Enough. On the way back, she exhaled a breath she'd been holding since winter began. Thank you, she said. For what? For standing there, she answered, without making me smaller. He nodded. That's how it should be. That night, snow fell gentle and slow. Mei Lin cooked stew richer than usual. Jonah brought out a small bottle he'd been saving. Just a sip, he said. They shared it. Laughed once, quietly. Surprised themselves. Later, by the fire, Jonah reached for her hand. Did not stop halfway this time. If this changes, he said, you tell me. She squeezed his fingers. I will. Their kiss deepened, still careful, still chosen. When they pulled apart, she rested her forehead against his. I don't feel invisible here, she whispered. Jonah closed his eyes. You never were, he said. Outside, the wind softened. Inside, something fragile held. But neither of them missed the truth pressing close. The world was not kind. And safety always came with a cost. Spring did not arrive all at once. It tested them first. The snow thinned, then returned in cold sheets that soaked boots and patience. Mud replaced ice. The road turned soft and treacherous. Jonah cursed it once, under his breath, then set his jaw and worked anyway. Mei Lin learned the ranch in pieces, the rhythm of the animals, the sound of the barn settling at night. The way the house breathed when the fire burned low. She learned where dust gathered and where light lingered longest. She made the place quieter, warmer, not by changing it, but by tending it. They moved like partners now, though neither had said the word. In the mornings, Jonah brought in wood. She had coffee waiting. In the evenings, she cooked while he washed his hands at the basin, steam rising from his skin. Sometimes he watched her without meaning to. Sometimes she caught him and did not look away. One afternoon, a rider appeared on the road. Mei Lin saw him first from the window, a man in a dark coat, sitting straight, not lost. Her chest tightened. Jonah followed her gaze. His body changed, subtle, alert. I'll handle it, he said. She nodded, though fear had already started its quiet work. The rider stopped at the fence, did not dismount. You, Jonah Reed? The man called. Jonah stepped forward. That's right. The man's eyes flicked to Mei Lin in the doorway, lingered. Name's Walker, he said. Town council asked me to check on things out here. Jonah's jaw tightened. Check on what? Rumors, Walker replied. About a woman staying here. Maylin's hands curled into her apron. She works here, Jonah said evenly. Walker smiled thin. That's so? Town's got concerns. About propriety. Jonah did not raise his voice. You can tell the council this is my land, my business. Walker leaned forward. People talk. About widows. About men alone. Maylin stepped forward before Jonah could stop her. I am not hiding, she said. Her voice shook once, then steadied. I work. I earn my keep. Walker studied her like an object. Town don't like trouble. Jonah moved then, put himself between them. She's not trouble, he said. She's under my protection. The word protection landed heavy. Walker's smile faded. Careful, he warned. Protection can look like ownership. Jonah's voice dropped. Leave! The rider lingered a moment longer, then turned his horse. When the sound faded, silence rushed in. Maylin's knees weakened. Jonah caught her arm. Steady, grounding. You didn't have to do that, she said. Yes, I did, he replied. She pulled her arm back gently. Not like that. He frowned. Like what? Like I belong to you. Jonah's face tightened with understanding. I'm sorry, he said. I know what you meant, she interrupted. But words matter. They follow women longer than men. He nodded. You're right. That night, the house felt smaller, not unsafe, just charged. They ate quietly. The fire cracked. The storm held off. Later, Jonah spoke. If staying here costs you too much, he said, I'll help you leave. Her throat tightened. I don't want to leave. I won't be the reason you're cornered, he replied. She crossed the room, stood before him. You're not, she said, but the world is loud. And it's not done with me. Quote. He looked at her then, really looked. I can't fight the whole world, he said. I'm not asking you to, she replied. Just don't decide for me. His shoulders eased. I won't. Spring pushed harder after that. Grass showed in patches. The animals grew restless. Work multiplied. One evening, Jonah came in limping. What happened? Maylin asked. Horse spooked, he said. I'm fine. She knelt to check his ankle anyway. Her hands were sure, focused. He watched her. You always take care of what's hurt, he said. She smiled faintly. Someone has to. He caught her wrist gently. You don't have to carry everything alone. The words settled deep, familiar, true. That night, they shared the bed for the first time, not with urgency, not with hunger, with trust. They lay side by side, space between them at first. Then, closer. Jonah did not rush, did not claim. When he touched her, it was like asking. When she answered, it was like choosing. Morning came soft and quiet. Sunlight through the window. The world felt new and fragile. But peace never lasted long. A letter arrived 2 days later, delivered by a boy who wouldn't meet her eyes. Jonah read it once, then again. What is it? She asked. He exhaled slowly. The council. Her chest tightened. About me? About us, he said. The letter demanded answers, explanations, threatened fines, inspection, removal. They want to make an example, Jonah said. Maylin folded her hands, calm on the outside. What do you want to do? He looked at her, torn. I want you safe. And if safety means leaving? His jaw worked. Then I'll help you pack. She stepped closer, took his hands. I won't run because they're afraid, she said. Not anymore. He searched her face. It won't be easy. I know. Silence stretched, heavy, honest. Outside, the wind picked up again. Not winter's bite. Something restless. They stood together in the kitchen, hands linked, facing what came next. And neither knew which would cost more. Staying or leaving. The letter stayed on the table like it could hear them. Maylin woke before dawn and saw it there, folded once, weighted by Jonah's knife. The words inside had already done their work. They pressed on the air, on the walls, on her chest. She dressed quietly and stepped outside. The morning was cold but clear. Spring tried again. Grass pushed through mud in stubborn patches. The animals shifted in the barn, restless and alive. Jonah joined her without a word. He stood beside her, hands deep in his pockets. "I didn't sleep," he said. "Neither did I." They watched the horizon lighten. The land looked peaceful. That was the danger of it. "I won't ask you to go," Jonah said finally, "but I won't pretend this won't get harder." She nodded. "They don't want me here." "They don't want anything they can't explain," he replied. By mid-morning, 2 riders appeared, not the same man as before, older, straighter. Official. Jonah met them at the fence. Mei Lin stood on the porch, visible. "You've been warned," one of the men said. "We're here to see if compliance is happening." "With what?" Jonah asked. "Decency," the man answered. Mei Lin stepped forward. "I work here. I am paid. I am not owned." The men exchanged glances. "Living arrangements matter," one said. "The town has standards." Jonah's voice stayed level. "So do I." They dismounted, walked the land, inspected the barn, the house, counted rooms like numbers could prove something. Inside, one man paused at the back door. "There's only one bed," he said. Mei Lin did not flinch. "I sleep there," she said, "alone." The lie tasted bitter. Necessary. The men left with nothing decided. That was worse. That night Jonah paced. "They'll come back," he said, "with more." Mei Lin sat at the table, calm. "Then we decide before they do." He stopped. "What are you saying?" "I could leave," she said, "for a while." The words cut even as she spoke them. Jonah's face closed. "No. It might protect you," she continued. "Your land, your name." "I don't want protection that costs you," he replied. She stood, took his hands. "I'm not asking you to save me," she said. "I'm choosing what I can carry." Silence pressed close. "I could go east," she added. "Find work. Send word." Jonah shook his head once. "I won't lose you to fear." Quote, "You won't lose me," she said softly. "Not if we decide together." The storm came that night, sudden, violent. Rain turned to sleet. Wind howled like it had something to prove. A fence went down near midnight. Jonah grabbed his coat. "I'll fix it." "I'm coming," Mei Lin said. "No," he replied. "It's dangerous." "So is waiting," she said. They fought the wind side by side, hammered posts back into ground that refused them. When Jonah slipped, Mei Lin caught him. When her hands numbed, he covered them with his own. The fence held. Barely. Back inside, soaked and shaking, Jonah pulled her into his arms without thinking, held her tight. She did not pull away. "I can't keep pretending I don't need you," he said into her hair. She rested her forehead against his chest. "Then don't." They kissed then, not careful, not restrained. Fear burned off into something fierce and real. Morning brought quiet wreckage, broken branches, mud, proof of the night. Jonah read the letter again, then tore it in half. "We'll answer them," he said, "on our terms." They rode into town together. This time, Mei Lin did not lower her eyes. She walked beside Jonah, equal stride, equal ground. At the council hall, voices rose, accusations. Concern masked as virtue. Mei Lin spoke when they tried to silence her. "I work, I pay, I live by your rules when they are just. I won't disappear to make you comfortable." Murmurs followed. Some hostile, some uncertain. Jonah spoke last. "If you force her out," he said, "you force me with her." The room went quiet. They did not win, not fully, but they did not lose. The council delayed, argued, promised review. Outside, Jonah exhaled. "That's the best we'll get for now." Mei Lin nodded, tired, steady. That night, back at the ranch, they sat by the fire. Close, quiet. "I don't know how this ends," Jonah said. She leaned into him. "I do," she replied. "It ends with choice." Outside, the wind softened. The land held. For now. The waiting was the hardest part. Days passed after the council meeting, each one stretched thin with uncertainty. No riders came. No letters arrived. The silence felt deliberate, like a hand hovering just above a wound. Mei-Lin kept working. That was how she survived fear. She baked bread, fed animals, cleaned stalls until the smell of hay and earth clung to her clothes. Jonah fixed what the storm had broken and checked the road each morning, scanning the horizon as if answers might ride in on horseback. At night, they sat together by the fire, not always touching, not always speaking, but always aware of each other. "I won't blame you if you change your mind," Jonah said one evening. She looked at him then, truly looked. "I didn't come this far to disappear," she replied. He nodded, accepted it like truth. The letter arrived on a clear morning. Jonah found it nailed to the post at the edge of the drive. Official seal. Clean handwriting. Final. They read it together at the table. The council would not interfere further. No inspections. No fines. No removal. The matter, they wrote, was closed. Mei-Lin sat very still. Relief did not rush in all at once. It came slow, careful. Like she was afraid to startle it, Jonah let out a breath he'd been holding for months. "It's over," he said. She nodded. "It's quiet," she replied. That night, Jonah cooked, burned the beans a little, laughed at himself once. Mei-Lin watched him from the doorway, warmth spreading in her chest that had nothing to do with the fire. After dinner, he reached for her hand. "I never thanked you," he said. "For what?" "For choosing to stay," he replied. "For choosing me." She squeezed his fingers. "You didn't ask me to disappear," she said. "That mattered." Spring finally claimed the land. Grass spread, snow retreated, the world softened. Mei-Lin planted a small garden behind the house. Jonah built a fence around it, though she hadn't asked. "I know," he said, "but still." Life settled into something steady, not perfect, but honest. One evening, as the sun sank low in gold, Jonah stopped beside her in the field. "There's something I want to ask," he said. She turned, heart steady this time. "Ask." "I don't want to live like I'm waiting for the ground to shift," he said. "I want to build something that doesn't apologize for existing." Her breath caught. "I won't promise easy," he continued, "or simple, but I promise choice, every day." She stepped closer, took his hands. "I choose you," she said, "not because I need saving, because I want this life." He pulled her into his arms then, held her like something precious and strong all at once. Summer came. So did neighbors, quiet ones, careful ones. Some curious, some kind. The ranch no longer felt invisible. Mei-Lin wore her pink dress less, not because she had to, because she wanted to. She sewed new clothes, practical ones, strong ones. But on Christmas she wore it again. Snow fell light that year, gentle, nothing like before. Jonah found her standing under the same awning in town, watching the street. "Cold?" he asked. She shook her head. "No." He slipped his scarf around her neck anyway. A child dropped a coin near her feet by accident. It rolled, stopped. Mei-Lin smiled. She did not reach for it. Jonah squeezed her hand. "You okay?" "Yes," she said. "I'm carrying enough." Quote. They walked on together, side by side. No fear in their steps. The world was still imperfect, still loud, still unfair. But she was no longer alone in it. And neither was he.